at products, I mean the products that have potential. Let me look at what Nigeria currently exports as of last year and what should be our main focus going forward. So product in the medical supply area are the area of focus. Product in food, personal care, fast-moving consumer goods, IT product, agricultural. These are products that should be of primary concern right now. Primary concern right now. What did Nigeria export last year? Mineral fuel, you can see gas, you can see the sesame seed, cocoa, tobacco, electrical energy. By the way, I am not an advocate for commodity export. We've done it for many years, it has not helped us. Sesame seed, fermented cocoa, cashew nut, cashew shell, nut in shell, raw cocoa beans, cocoa butter. These are the agricultural products. Apart from the regular product, agricultural product. Agro-food, flours. These are major export item of Nigeria. Major export, agri-export of Nigeria. But we shouldn't be focusing on agri. Africa have been exporter of agricultural products for many years. But you know what I discovered? Despite how much export Africa is doing, Africa is contributing less than 3% of the total trade in the world. Why? Because Africa have largely concentrated on raw commodities. One of the things we must stop is raw commodities. We must stop raw commodities. Why must we stop raw commodities? We must stop raw commodities because it has not helped us. Let me put it in perspective. You see this cashew nut you see here? A ton of cashew nut is about 1,000 plus, sometimes even lower than that. I'm sure it will be lower than that now because of COVID. But when you remove the shell of that cashew nut, you can sell it for as much as $12,000 to $15,000. From $1,000 raw cashew nut to $15,000 or $12,000, $13,000, $14,000 cashew kernel. Even though you are going to lose about 70-80% or 75 to 80%, if you recover 20 tons of kernel, do your calculation yourself. A ton of cashew nut sold for $1,000. 100 tons of cashew nut will sell for $100,000. That's about 40 million naira. If that cashew nut is shelled and we can sell it for example, we have let's say we have 20 tons out of the 100 tons and we sold it for $15,000 per ton. $15,000 per ton times 20 tons. That's about $300,000. We are making times 3, even though we have lost about 80% because of weight. We are still making times 3 after creating job locally. And we have not roasted it, we have only removed the shell. A company like Executive Choice is leading in that, roasting and exporting for many years, and it has improved over time. And I'll be showing you a lot of Nigerian brands today that are doing very well that you can consider. Like I said, don't think of setting up a factory. No, that's not the way to go. Think of partnering with those that have a factory already. Look at Nigeria exports in 2019. We were in recession in 2016. We came out and then we started growing. Last year we did 62. These are the official figures. $62.5 billion in export. And we import 55 billion. So we have about 117 billion in trade. Nigerian trade is almost 30% of the GDP. So there's so much opportunity within the trade space in Nigeria, both on the import and export, particularly on the export. So much opportunity. With all that we have done, we are still very small. I mean, our GDP is less than 400 billion. We're still very, very small in terms of economic size, even though we have the huge population to drive the volume. Currently, food dominates African consumer spending, but this will gradually change as income rise. African population presently remain heavily dependent on foods, on cheap staple food, while the increased inclusion of meat in the diet has barely begun. For the large majority of African population, the nutritional transition is still focused on quantity increases rather than quality increases. For this reason, FMCG sector on the continent presents retailer with lucrative opportunity. Now, even though we have opportunity for food and for cosmetics or for fast-moving consumer product in Europe and America because of African in those countries, but I think we can do a lot also within the African continent. With a wide range of products expected to see a sharp increase in demand over the next few decades as African consumers continue to move up the food curve. Once basic needs have been met, consumers will start focusing on quality improvement, e.g., including more meat in one's diet or buying a high-quality brand of same product. It is important for FMCG retailer to establish a footprint in a country that at early stage so that we can benefit from both the quality and quantity shifts in consumer spending behavior. Look at soft drink. Soft drinks are neither a necessity nor luxury. Its price is generally sufficiently cheap, so it can be bought by even the lowest income earner. It is, however, not a necessity. So in tough times, there might be a sharp cut in spending on soft drink or increased differentiation by consumer based on price. And at the same time, the quality of tap water in Africa is generally so bad that people will opt to buy soft drink, including bottled water. Do you know that Nigeria exports bottled water to North Africa by road from northern part of the country upward, where they can afford to do so? As a result, non-alcoholic beverage industry in Africa has access to potentially massive markets. As income increase and consumers get increasingly health conscious, the demand for carbonates is likely to fall, while that of juice and bottled water will tend to rise. There is also a strong opportunity for alcohol-free social drink as income rise and the economy formalizes. So I was talking about this segment, and the segment I was talking about is the fast-moving consumer goods segment, a sector rather. And I'm saying that, look, I am of the opinion that this sector is an opportunity that we must consider, not just in Africa, not just in Africa. You know, it's so bad in North America that they were looking for tissue paper at some point because of COVID. So fast-moving consumer good is an opportunity for us right now, but we must package it very well. And I'll be showing you some products I've seen, and I know a couple of them are in Nigeria right now, that you can partner with. Two things: either you just partner with them to be their distributor abroad, or they produce for you, whichever option you think works for you. But don't think of manufacturing yourself. Please don't think of producing yourself. The low-hanging fruit is for you to partner with the people who are looking for money to expand, but they are not able to expand right now. They are looking for money to expand, but they're not able to expand. Why? Because they won't get the money from the bank. But you can contribute to their expansion by partnering with them for contract production. This segment includes shampoo, toothpaste, soap, deodorant, makeup, and the like. The subsector has great potential for expansion in Africa. Apart from the usual reason, favorable demographic profile and strong economic growth, an added driver for this sector is that many Africans appear willing to spend a proportionately large share of their income on beauty products. This is at least partially driven by the entry of popular international brand names and sharp uptake of mobile telephony and increased internet access, which has resulted in Africans being more exposed to Western culture. Three other important factors that will underpin the growth of this industry in Africa over the long term are improving level of education, youthfulness of the population, and the rise of female independence. With regard to the last point, more women are now in labor force, and fertility rates are declining, which means that more money is available for spending on personal care. So I'm saying, you know, there is African Continental Free Trade Area that Nigeria have signed, and that is a huge opportunity. So while you are looking at some Europe and America, please look at Africa. According to Euromotor International, the size of the beauty product in the Middle East and Africa was about $20 billion in 2011, around 4.8% of global total, with South Africa contributing 3.9 billion, while Nigeria, Kenya has the second and largest industry in Sub-Saharan Africa, respectively. On global scale, toiletry accounts for 30% of total sales. You know, sometimes when you see some of this data, you'll be wondering, is this happening? I tell you, it is happening. You'll be shocked at how much is happening in some of these places that, and you know what's interesting about this is that because sometimes we don't work with data, we discount some of those sectors. We discount some of those sectors. On a global scale, toiletry accounts for 30% of total sales, skincare and hair each contribute further 20%, and makeup and fragrance 10% each. The skincare category saw the biggest increase in its share of the global market between 2008 and 2012, followed by men's grooming, the category seeing the largest decline in its share over the period as fragrance. Now, the reason why I'm interested in this sector is two reasons. Number one, because human beings will think of survival first before of other things. Human being will think of survival first because of other things. So those are the things that make that sector become very crucial, very important right now. Global home market size is 2013, was close to 155 billion. The largest subcategory in laundry care, which accounts for around 53% of total sales. This is followed by surface care and dishwashing. Due to the relative lack of modern housing in Africa, this subsector is still largely underdeveloped. Over the long term, this segment should expand quickly, driven by increase in home ownership, rising disposable income, and consumer education and hygiene campaign. And these are the factors driving this sector and driving it very, very seriously right now that should make every one of us who are thinking of going into this sector to consider this particular area. Now look at the world. You know that in the world generally, we cannot even afford to be looking at commodities. Look at what the world is exporting. So we can't afford to be looking at commodity. But you know what? We are still thinking of commodity. You know, sometimes when you think of this thing, you'll be wondering why we still think of commodity despite, look at what has happened this year now. In this year alone now, it's been a big challenge for people who are in commodity business. NEPC executive came out and said, commodity business is having big issue right now. Why? Nobody is buying. Look at the total merchandise in the world. Look at total merchandise in the world. Look at it. What are the people doing? What are people buying? Manufactured goods, 12.25. Manufactured goods, 12.25. Manufactured goods. Manufactured goods. Look at our Greek that we focus on, 1.76. 1.76 for our Greek. 1.76. Who are the largest exporter in the world? China, United States, Germany, Japan, Netherlands. But look at the world largest exporter. What are they exporting? What are they exporting? The world largest exporter. What are they exporting? Manufactured goods. We will see that very soon. Manufactured goods. So basically telling us that we cannot continue to do regular commodity and expect anything good to come out of it. It does not help us. It's not helping us, and it's not going to help us, even COVID. Look at Africa. Look at the potential, product with potential within Africa. Export potential, actual export, untapped potential. You see the light green? These are the untapped potential. For fruits, beverages, cereals, vegetables, vegetable oil, apparel, fast-moving consumer goods, beauty products. Beauty product. Out of all these that you're seeing here, the one that will be of interest, the one that everybody is interested in, is what will keep human being alive and keep human beings sane. That's what many people are looking at. But if you look at Nigeria in general, look at what Nigeria is exporting. Imagine what Nigeria is exporting. See this? See what Nigeria is exporting? See what Nigeria is exporting? Africa, agricultural products. Asia, Europe are the major. They won't buy our finished product. So most of our finished product goes to where? Africa. Just making a case for why you should look at Africa. Just making a case for why you should, of necessity, look at Africa. And look at different products that Africa is importing that Nigeria can produce. Look at it. Look at palm oil. $5.1 billion. Palm oil, $5.1 billion. Palm oil. Insulated wire, $3.5 billion. Coal briquette, $1.7 billion. Plastic pipe, $1.1 billion. Women's suit, $1.4 billion. These are African import only. I'm only looking at African import only. Just helping you make a sense of the potential in the Africa. Tissue paper, $1.1 billion. Tissue paper, $1.1 billion. Plastic houseware, $778 million. Flavor water, $549. Flavor water, $549. Flavor water, imported into Africa. Flavor water, imported into Africa. So these are different opportunities we have right now. Butter, potato, cotton, dental products, coconut, cereals, different products we have right now. Now, look at this. Look at this very interesting data. Look at this. Nigeria. I'm looking at Nigeria in the world. Nigeria in the world. In 2017, Nigeria is the largest producer of cassava, largest producer of yam, largest producer of cassava, largest producer of yam, 14th largest producer of maize, 12th largest producer of rice, 4th largest producer of palm oil, 4th largest producer of fresh vegetable, second largest producer of sorghum, tomato 11, peanut 4th, pineapple 8. You see what? All these products are products with export potential. You know, that's why if Nigeria don't take agri serious, I don't know what they want to take serious. With government lackadaisical attitude to agri before now, even till now, not good enough, even though we can see some effort in that area right now. But you know what? Because NISA is doing a lot in that space, I must say. But even with that, we are not scratching the surface yet. With neglect of government for many years, see where we are. We are still most agricultural commodity in the world. Nigeria is among the top producers. So what happens if we begin to take it more seriously? What happens if we begin to take it more seriously? You can imagine how much Nigeria can do in this space. Now, as I round off on products, African consumer expenditure in major retail subsector. This is still making a case for Africa. 2011, 2016. Food and beverages. Can you see the way it's growing? Can you see how it has grown? Total retail. Can you see how it has grown in Africa? In Africa, making a case for demand for fast meal consumers in Africa. Like I said, I'm not excluding Europe and America. I'm talking about them also because all of them now need to survive. And our people there need to survive, and they are interested in this product. But like I said, you don't necessarily need to be the one producing plays. So don't think of, because the reason why people don't think of finished good is that how will I set up factory? Power, PACL, road, LASA, tax and the like. No, I export products out of Nigeria and I don't have a factory. I export to Europe regularly food products, snacks, and I don't have a factory. So you don't need to set up a factory. Let's begin to collaborate with ourselves. And that will even help them to reduce their cost of production burn because you are going to be increasing the volume of what they can sell.